Hey y'all, welcome back to Crime and Cocktails. I'm Lena, and if you anything like me, then you love true crime and a little drinky drink. So get y'all drinks together and let's do it. Tonight I'm drinking actually the same thing as last week, my Moscato, because it's my fave. I love it so much. I'm gonna switch it up for y'all next week and do some little mixed drinks or something like that. But I just love the wine so much and it really calmed me down, right? Okay, so tonight's story, we're going to be talking about two brothers, Reginal and Jonathan Carr. They are from Dodge City, Kansas. Reginald, being the older brother, was born in 1978, and Jonathan, the younger brother, born in 1980. Now, at the time of these crimes they committed, they were 20. Jonathan was 20, and Reginald was 22. Okay, they already at these young ages, which I think is young already, 20 and 22, they already had like lengthy criminal backgrounds already. So when they committed these crimes, they was just adding on. And let me tell y'all what they did. So it started, they had a whole crime spree that they went on that's now known as the Wichita Massacre. And they started it on December 8th of 2000. On that day, they committed a armed robbery against a 23-year-old man named Andrew Schreiber. I think that's how you say his last name. I don't know. I'm not really too good with names, but I think it's Andrew Schreiber. It was said that they carjacked him, made him drive to an ATM, and withdraw all of his money out of the ATM. After that, they shot his tires out, so he couldn't run and couldn't go to the police and tell on him, I guess, whatever. So he was actually one of the lucky ones, and he did live and, live to tell about this story. 3 days after that, look at me. 3 days after, they approached a lady that was sitting in the driveway, a 55-year-old woman named Ann Walenta, and she was sitting in her driveway. I don't know what for. I don't know if she was coming or going. It doesn't say, but apparently she was sitting in the driveway, and one of the brothers approached her car. She was feeling kind of weird, like something wasn't right. So when he came up to her window, she didn't let the window all the way down. She just cracked the window. Well, he didn't give a damn how far she let the window down, because he stuck the gun in the window and proceeded to shoot this lady multiple times. Okay, she did, get away. She drove away, even after he had shot her or whatever. She drove away, but she did end up succumbing to her injuries after 3 weeks. So 3 weeks later, she ended up dying from the gunshot wounds. She did live long enough to tell on that ass. She definitely identified him. So that was, I guess that was the bright side of it, that she did, live long enough to identify them and to get them, prosecuted or whatever. So now after they did that, they laid low for a few days. And then on December 14th, they continued the crime spree when they broke into a house that they had just picked at random. And inside the house were some adults. It was Brad Haka, Heather Mueller, Aaron Sanders, Jason Beffert, and a woman that the police only call her, we just calling her HG. I guess she's probably in some kind of witness protection or something, so they're not revealing her full name. They just calling her HG, so we gonna call her HG. They were all in their 20s, and from what I've learned, HG and Jason, whose house it was, they were a couple. Okay, when they first arrived to the house, they ransacked the house, looking for anything they could find of value. And after they got tired of that, they forced the hostages to strip naked. They tied them up and subjected them to different type of sexual acts, oral sex, rape, just horrible things they made them do. Then they made them do it to each other. They made the men perform sexual acts on the women, and they made the women perform these sexual acts on each other. From what I read when I was researching, they one of the men, he couldn't, he was scared for his life, so he couldn't like get an erection, and they was not going for that. They was like, I'm gonna kill you right now if you can't get it up or whatever, and just trying to force him. And they was telling them, they gave him like a 3-minute countdown, like, okay, you got 3 minutes or we gonna kill you. Well, the 3 minutes, it didn't work, and they didn't kill him. So apparently they just said forget that plan or whatever. But they did force these people to do these sexual, just embarrassing. You know what I mean? So, and then these people, they were friends, they knew each other. So that's something, that's just something different. Like, you're gonna make these people do this to each other, and these are friends, and they they didn't want to do that type of thing. It was just sick is what I call it. Okay, so let me see, where am I at? Okay, so after they made them do all of this, all these sexual things to each other, they drove the hostages one by one. So from what I read was, one brother stayed at the house with the hostages, and the other brother would take one, take him to the ATM, make him empty out his account, then drive back and drop him off, pick somebody else up and drive them, so you got to imagine this probably took a while. So if it was me, I don't know what would be going through my head while they going back and forth. Like, I don't know. I would have been I guess they was tied up. I don't know. I'm always talking about what I would have did. I don't know. Who knows what you would really do if you were in this situation? You know what I mean? So I don't want to make it seem like, they didn't try to fight or whatever. But yeah, they drove them one by one, and made all these people empty out their bank accounts. Okay. So after they drove the last person to empty out the bank account, they rallied, they round them all up and put them all in, Jason, actually, the person whose house it was, and HG's boyfriend. They took his truck, and they made everybody get in the truck, and they drove them to like a deserted like soccer field. And this was in December, so it was like snowy, it's cold outside. They drove them to like this deserted soccer field on the outskirts of town, and they executed them, shooting them all in the back of their heads. They then used Jason's truck, which they had stolen, and drove over their bodies after they shot them all in the back of the head. And then they just left them people there for dead. Then they went back to the house to scour the home for more valuables. When they were there the second time, HG, her dog, was there, and they ended up killing the dog too. So after all this, miraculously, HG, she ended up surviving. And so she said that, when they shot her in the head, she first, before that, let me not go too far, I'm getting ahead of myself. So she said after, when they drove them to the soccer field, they made all the men get out the car, and they like lined them up, they like told them to line up. And she ended up telling the other lady, like they gonna shoot us. I guess she knew, like this is some execution type shit. So she told the other girl, like, they gonna shoot us. And so they ended up making the women get out the car, whatever, and then, they did that. So HG says that she remembers feeling the bullet, hit her in the head, and it was like, she said it went just white, like, like seeing stars, like how they hit a cartoon, it'd be the stars around their head or whatever. She said that was really what she remembers. And she said she also felt the truck roll over her body when they were leaving. But she said that she, waited until she didn't hear anything, until she, she was sure that they were gone. And she lifted up her head, and her boyfriend, Jason, he was, next to her, and she turned him, like rolled him over, and I guess he was still, like, she said it was blood everywhere, she even said it was blood coming out of his eyes. I don't know if he was, like talking to her, if he was responsive, but for some reason she thought that he was still alive. So the only thing she had on was a sweater. So she took the sweater off and she wrapped his head in it, trying to stop the bleeding, trying to save him. And so when she had looked up, turned her head, she had seen some Christmas lights in the distance. So after she wrapped up her boyfriend's head, she got up naked naked, and ran. And they said it was over the house that she seen. It was like over a mile away. She ran over a mile with a gunshot wound in her head to this house. When she got to the house, the residents of the house, they was kind of shook, like, what the hell, this lady all bloody and naked. But they let her in, and they was trying to, call the police. She did not want them to call the police because she thought she was about to die. So she wanted to get the story out and to tell them exactly what had happened, so that when the police did arrive, somebody would be able to give the police an account of what happened. So, let me see, where am I? Let me see, y'all bear with me. I'm reading this, I can't memorize everything. I try to, but I still write it down and have my notes. So, let's see, she told him her story because she thought she was gonna die. So later it was learned that she had like some kind of barrette or clip in her head, and that's what saved her from the bullet. Like it deflected the bullet from, actually penetrating, or whatever it was. Thank God she had it in her head, you know what I mean? Otherwise, we all know where she would be now. Let me see, explain it. Oh yes, another good thing. Well, it's not a good thing, but it actually even makes the story like more sad, because what they said was, while the brothers were ransacking the house, they came across like a popcorn, like a can, like a can of popcorn. And inside the can of popcorn was a diamond ring. And Jason had told her, like, that was for you. I was going to propose. And so that's even more sad. Like, really, like, just, you're going to lay it on heavy, right? Right before we die. So he was planning to propose to her, which was sweet, but it was, it was bittersweet how that ended. So anyways, the brothers, they were extremely messy when they was committing these heinous crimes against these people. And they got caught by the cops the very next day. Okay, like, y'all gonna do all of this and think y'all, and then be messy about it? Like, come on now, I believe they got caught in Jason's truck. Like, you're not gonna, just... People, criminals especially, be so stupid. That's the dumbest shit. Okay, but anyways. So, they were caught the next day. Reginal was identified by Andrew Schreiber, the man who they had initially armed, robbed, and made him and shot his tires out and got all his money out the ATM. He identified that as. And the lady, the 55-year-old lady that they had fatally shot, she identified them too. So there was two people, that identified their ass, and that ass got caught, as you should. During the trial, both of the brothers were convicted of almost 113 counts that were against them. Reginald got convicted of 50 counts, and Jonathan got convicted of 43 counts. The counts included kidnapping, robbery, rape, 4 counts of capital murder, and 1 count of first-degree murder. They were both sentenced to death, and they're now serving out their time in El Dorado Correctional Facility, which is a max security prison in northeast Wichita. Now, my take on this is, first things first. Did y'all really think y'all was going to get away with that? I mean, really. Did y'all really think that y'all were going to get away with that? I understand that not even, I can't say that they thought the 55-year-old lady was going to die, because she drove off away from their ass. So, and then the man who y'all armed, robbed in the beginning, y'all didn't even kill him. So, you know that you have 2 witnesses living. Why would you go and commit a whole nother crime and like kill all these people? Why? Who? Why? Why would they do that? Why would they think that was a smart idea? And you already got 2 people that's gonna identify you. Like, did you? I don't know. Secondly, HG, okay, before I even state my opinion on her, which let me tell you, I feel like she was very brave. Thank God she lived through that to tell the story. And that she was, smart enough to like play dead, when they shot them, so that was a blessing. Thank God for those people who opened the door for her, because it ain't no telling what would you do if somebody just came to your door, just I would be freaked out. I mean, and they said that the people at the house, they were freaked out too, but I mean, I don't know if I open my door. Like, say what you gotta say outside the door, huh? Like that, that's the type of person I am. I'm not gonna open up my door and you looking crazy. No, tell me what you want. I can hear you. What? Say what? I'm one of them type of people. So, thank God for them and people that's not scary like my scary ass. But I was gonna say something. Oh, I don't want to say it was a happy ending, but Andrew, the man who their first victim who they robbed, him and HG ended up getting married. Like through all of this, I guess, that they met, while the trial was going on and all this, and they had to testify against these crazy motherfuckers. They ended up, hitting it off and getting married. So that was, like the good ending. I'm all about good endings. I love happy endings. I hate like sad endings or bad endings. I hate that. I don't like to watch movies like that. I don't like to hear stories like that. Like I be needing closure, and it got to be good closure for me. Otherwise the whole thing is just fucked up. I don't like that. So that was like on the bright side. Like I was like, oh, okay, that was so good. That was sweet. That was good. But unfortunately, all these other people, had to lose their lives. And I was trying to see, like, when I hear about stuff like this, and let me shout out this lady, Bailey Sarian. She is a YouTuber and she does like makeup and murder. She do her makeup, while she's telling stories. And I love her because she always get like the history on the people. And I be looking, y'all, like I be looking, like trying to research it. This Wichita Massacre, I have been researching this since last week when I did my last video. Like right after I was done with that story, I started researching this one and I was trying to find out all that I could, so all of my information is coming from, Wikipedia and, the case file, anything I could get on it. But I don't know where she's looking. Like I'm tempted to hop in her DM somewhere and be like, girl, where do you find all the backstory? Because that I be wanting to know, when people be this crazy and deranged, why? So I want to know who their parents is, how they was raised, was they abused when they were children, like because people, maybe they is, I don't know, but people just be born like that? People be born just crazy as hell and sick like that, really? Or is it some kind of trauma that they went through, in their childhood or in their life that drove them to, be a fucking psycho? I really want to know. So shout out Bailey Sarian, because that girl gets all the dirt. She gets all the dirt. And I'm gonna hit her up for real. To see how she be getting all this information, because I was looking, and I was trying to find out like their birthdays and their parents. Apparently I think their mom's name was Janice. They didn't list the father, and they really didn't list too much about their upbringing or why they was 20 and 22 already being criminals like this. Like they were all, before they even did this, they were already been in jail and done did a bunch of bullshit. So what makes somebody that young? Like I feel like, and that's another thing that's sad. And I want to say it's a sad case that you this young in your whole life, you threw your whole entire life away. Even if you did have a long rap sheet before this, you can always turn your life around, and you could have done something else. You know what I mean? Jonathan was 20 years old. You still had your whole life ahead of you. You could have turned that around. You could have did something different and had a whole different outcome. Now look, you're gonna die. They're gonna kill you. Like, you killed them people. Which you really, technically, you deserve it. But you could have made different choices. You know what I mean? So that's always just gonna be weird to me. You know, a little strange. But whatever. I'm just here to tell the story. I guess I'm not here to, I'm just here to tell y'all the story. I'm not here to get all into it. But one thing that I can say is these brothers were black. They were African American, and my story that I did last week on Michelle Blair, she was a black lady too. A lot of people didn't know that, and I don't want to just throw it out there. I mean, because it really doesn't matter. A criminal is a criminal. White, black, blue, purple, green. Yeah, crazy ass psycho, and y'all here killing people, including your own goddamn kids, Michelle Blair. So it really doesn't matter at the end of the day what race you are, but I was just trying to because, I mean, we don't really hear about that a lot. We don't really hear about, black serial killers a lot and stuff like that. So that's, what I'm looking for, the black serial killers and stuff like that. Because majority of the white serial killers, we done heard about them all, Jeffrey Dahmer, even though I'm gonna do a story on him, y'all just wait on that. Because, he's from where I'm from Milwaukee. So I'm definitely going to do a story on him, but we just don't hear a lot about the black serial killers. And I've been looking and I've been researching and I done found a few of them. But there is this one in particular that I'm looking for. And I actually synced that case on like the first 48. And it took them like some years. Like, he had been killing women and like this is like in the 70s, and they didn't catch his ass until, it took them a long time to catch him. But I wanna look him up, so I'm gonna have to watch that episode again so I can figure out what his name was and all that. But that's gonna be a good story coming too. And I just really want to hear y'all thoughts and y'all opinions, so please leave it in the comments. I didn't get a lot of comments last time. I know it's new, but I appreciate y'all for coming, and I appreciate y'all for watching and for subscribing and for liking the video, and definitely for giving me feedback, because I appreciate that, and I just want to know what I can do to make y'all happy. Because I'll get a kick out of this anyways, because I'm just definitely like a forensic files and true crime like aholic. And clearly a wineaholic too. But so let me know, if it's something, and if it's something y'all want to hear, like a story that y'all want me to look into and go over, let me know, please. And I will definitely do it for you. I'm open to all the opinions and the constructive criticism. Like, I'm so open to it. And again, I appreciate y'all, and I'm glad y'all come to, sit with me and listen to this crazy shit these people out here doing. But that's all for tonight's story. So let me know down below what you think. Like, subscribe, and share this video, please. Thank you, guys. I'll see y'all next week. I'm going to come next week. I'm going to try to come. I said every Thursday. I attempted last night, which was Thursday, to do a video, but my phone is stupid and raggedy. And so I didn't have enough space, and it kept cutting my video off, so I got some space now. You see me 23 minutes going strong. So I'm good. I got y'all. Okay, so come back next week. I'll be back next Thursday with a new story. Again, if y'all got a story y'all want me to cover, just leave it in the comments or inbox me on Facebook, Trelina Macklin, Let's do it. I love it. And I like spending time with y'all. Okay, so I'll see y'all next week, okay? Bye!